Hey, it's Chef Evelyn, and I'm back as promised with another video in my new video series. So, I kind of wanted to start this series off. I've already done one previous video. If you haven't seen that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check out the playlist. It's the video right before this one, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you can go back to my IGTV and see the video right before this one. But I really wanted to talk to you about the challenge when you put all of your eggs in one basket. So if you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, or if you've been following any amount of time, you know that I'm very, very passionate about making sure that you and your business is set up for success. And so one of the things I want to talk about, particularly when it comes to being in the culinary field, being a food or culinary entrepreneur, chefpreneur, however you like to categorize yourself, is this idea of putting all your eggs in one basket. And what I see a lot of times, particularly with chefs, is we think we have multiple streams of income, but they're all dependent upon us being in the actual kitchen. And so one of the things I've talked about for years, even before the pandemic, even before the great resignation in the culinary industry, even before, unfortunately, we've seen, the demise of a lot of our favorite, restaurants in our hometowns and things like that, is that when you are in a service-based business, which a lot of chefs are, that it's a very, I don't want to, dangerous, I guess would be the word to use, because it is solely dependent upon you being able to physically be in a kitchen. And I want to give you a couple examples. I mean, you probably can get the drift from what just happened with the pandemic, but I want to give you one of my own personal experience, and then one kind of like of something that was close to me. So the first one was something that was kind of close to me, which was when I was kind of first starting out in my professional culinary career. I've had a food business since I was 15, but I was working for a catering company as part of my culinary school externship. And, it was kind of like a one-man show, but he would bring people in to help him. He was getting great business, making great money, but one of the things that would always happen was anytime he wanted to take time off, it was a little bit of a stressor for him. And it was a stressor because he knew that if he took time off, if he stopped working, that the money stopped coming in, right? And so I see, a lot of chefs who have catering companies, who are personal chefs, do meal prep, private chefs, dinner parties, events, things like that. One of the things I noticed is that if they take time off, then the money takes time off with them, right? If they go on vacation, if God forbid, if they get sick, if any life event happens, if they are not physically able to work, then the money stops coming in. And so I remember, working for the chef, great guy, very, very talented chef. Like I said, his business was successful, but he wanted to retire. And I remember him being like, I don't know what to do, because if I retire, then I'll have no money coming in. And obviously he had saved some money for retirement, but he was like, once I stop the business, that income stops coming in. And so he wanted to essentially sell his business. He wanted to sell his contacts and his contracts and his equipment. And I remember him asking me at the time if I wanted to buy it. But fortunately enough for me, I was able to have the foresight to be like, wait a minute. If this is the predicament that you're in at this stage in life, then I'll be in that same predicament at that stage in life, where it will be this hamster wheel of I have to work or be physically present to work all the time in order for revenue to be made. And that was when I really, kind of got the buzz. I was like, I need to have more than one way as a chef to make money, because if something happens and I do want to take vacation and take time off, I don't want to be stressing about, is there still income coming in? So while, I was working there, and then I went on to graduate culinary school, went on to do a lot of different things. But I remember, that thought never left me. Like that story and that experience, I never forgot it. So I started going down the path of figuring out other ways to earn income with my food skills that didn't require me to be in the kitchen all of the time, right? And I had a myriad of those. So fast forward to 2016, and I get diagnosed with cancer. And I don't know if any of you have a loved one, or unfortunately, if you have yourself been diagnosed with cancer. regardless of what stage you're at or whatever, it is like a scary diagnosis, right? And that's not what this video is about. I'm well, I'm healthy, and all that kind of stuff. But I remember that all of my energy and attention had to turn to my health, right? So I was unable to work in the kitchen. And at that time, I was teaching in-person cooking classes and running a cooking school. And I was unable to do that because I was in treatment 5 days a week. You know, I had all these doctor's appointments. You know, it was all about rest, right? And just in appointments and eating well. And so all of my time and energy had to be focused on my health. And so I remember being so grateful that I had already set up additional revenue streams that didn't require me to fully be in the kitchen all of the time to help sustain me during that time, because I chose alternative treatment. If you know anything about doing alternative anything, insurance does not cover it. Okay, so you have to pay everything out of pocket. And I felt so fortunate to have already set up, you know, different revenue streams and things like that that would allow me to be able to, you know, have other ways of making money. And so it's not that you can't have a service-based revenue stream, but what I see happen most often is that when a chef says, yeah, I have multiple revenue streams, they're all still largely dependent upon them being active in the kitchen. So they may say, well, I have a catering company, but I also do custom cakes, but I also do meal prep, but I also do dinner parties, but I also do, while those are, I guess you could consider those multiple streams in that sense, which is those are different services, they're still labor intensive, if you will. And so, you know, this project that I've been working on, I'm really excited to share it with you. Like I said, the details are coming. I'm chomping at the bit, you know what I'm saying, getting the last little pieces together. But you know, we're going to address that conundrum, because while we are considered a food service industry, there are multiple ways to earn income outside of a traditional, whether it's restaurant, kitchen, or even if you're freelancing, there's other ways to earn income outside of the kitchen. So I want to know from you, if, you know, you've had any ideas about, you know, ways that you could earn money outside the kitchen. What questions do you have about that? Leave them in the comments below. But also, the one thing I want you to take away from this video is think about, like, if you are currently in business and you're like, I have multiple streams, are they all under something that physically requires you to be there? Okay. And yeah, if you join me for the next video in this series, I'm going to talk about, now that you're kind of thinking about all these different ideas, I'm going to talk to you about how to kind of like corral those ideas together and move forward so that you can get out of idea overwhelm. So let me know your questions and your thoughts below about creating multiple streams of income. If you're watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. If you're watching this on Instagram, make sure you go to my page and turn on the notifications so you can know when I upload the next video in this series. And all I ask, right, because sharing is caring, right, is share this video with 1 to 2 of your chef friends, your culinary entrepreneurship friends, and let them know they may benefit, because your input, your questions, your thoughts, your concern about creating income outside of a traditional kitchen is going to be so helpful to you and anybody else who comes across this content in the future. So I'm excited to see what you have to say, to see what your questions are. Let's have a little chit chat in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.